In true YouTuber fashion, I filmed this entire video almost to completion and my mic stopped working and I didn't notice. So we're going to film this whole thing again without my microphone. So if there's an echo, if the audio sounds weird, I apologize. I need to film this video today. It's the only day that I really have time to do it. We're just gonna make do with what we have. But hi guys.
Hey, what is up, my guy?
How are you doing? So it has been forever since I have filmed a YouTube video. And specifically one like this. I did post a vlog last week, and if you watch that video, you will hear just more of an update on where I've been and why I've disappeared from the face of YouTube. But yeah, hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Charlotte, and I am an aspiring fantasy author sharing my journey to publication here on YouTube. I started this channel back in 2022. As I am filming this, it is almost 2026. So I've been on here for a minute. And as you can imagine, a lot has changed since I started this channel like almost 4 years ago. Like I said, it's about to be 2026. It's a new era, a new year. And I have even more changes on the horizon for the new year, which for someone who does struggle with anxiety, it's a very interesting dynamic. But yeah, I have a lot of hopes and dreams for this new year. And so in this video, I just kind of want to take you through a more in-depth explanation on where I've been and kind of just share some of the hopes and dreams that I do have for this channel, that I have for my writing, and especially in regards to just, you know, being a writer and creating content that encourages and inspires you to chase big dreams. So let's get right into it. For someone with back issues, I really chose the most uncomfortable position to sit in. Let's flash back to 2022. At the time, I was living in Toronto with my parents. For those of you who are new here, yes, I am Canadian. Yes, I pretty much spent my whole life in the Toronto area. Now I live in Florida. And as a Canadian who swore she would never move to the United States of America, God has a sense of humor. That's all I have to say about that. My now husband and I were dating long distance at the time, and I was also still feeling freshly graduated. I graduated from university in 2020, aka the year that should not be named. In Canada, we didn't really come out of the lockdown era until like the end of 2021. So in 2022, I kind of still felt stuck in the, oh my gosh, I graduated with a degree in liberal arts. Like, what am I gonna do in my life? But yeah, I was hopping around from job to job kind of because I didn't really know what I wanted to do full time. And I just thought that being an author full time just like wasn't even an option. So I was trying to find work in other industries and areas and kind of just build certain skills that I could use. I tried going back to school twice to get my master's. So all this to say, in 2022, I did have a lot more free time when I started this channel. I had a lot more space to be creative. It felt like it was the right time for me to start a YouTube channel and take that risk of doing something that I had been dreaming about for a very long time. Since then, my now husband and I got engaged. I moved from Canada to Florida, got married, did the whole immigration process, which if you are someone who is trying to immigrate anywhere, but specifically to the United States of America, you know. The entire journey of immigrating to the United States is so taxing, and it was very taxing on me just like emotionally, because there's just so much uncertainty in the process. I had left like my friends, my family, my whole community to start a whole new life out here with my husband. Eventually, you know, I got my work permit and I was able to get my first full-time job working as a communications coordinator for a small nonprofit. Throughout this time of immigrating, but also just working and starting my first full-time job, I was still trying to vlog, I was still trying to post and just be active on here, and I was doing it very inconsistently and unintentionally, especially because my husband and I at the time, we were trying to find our own place, so we were kind of house hopping and living in shared housing situations, so I didn't have my own space to be creative, especially in regards to being creative on YouTube. That plus learning how to balance working and writing and just everything else that that comes into life, I ended up making the decision to just stop posting on YouTube altogether. I thought my efforts would be put to more use and my time and energy would be more balanced if I was focusing more on short form content and trying to connect with people through Instagram and TikTok. Now, before I move on, I do want to say, if you want to publish a book, you don't have to be on social media. If you are trying to self-publish a book, I do think it might be slightly different, but I'm interested in traditionally publishing my books, which is a topic for another video. So if you would like to learn more about my process of deciding if I was going to self-publish or traditionally publish, I would love to share just my thought process on that. I feel like if that's something that will add value to someone else who's trying to make those decisions as well. So if you do want to hear more about my process of making that decision, just let me know in the comments because I would love to talk about that. I'm really grateful that authors have started speaking out about this and sharing like, hey, like you don't actually need to have 10,000 followers on Instagram. You don't need to have like a full-on YouTube channel in order to get your book published. What matters is your writing, what matters is your craft, and what matters is your ability to tell a good story. And that kind of released me from a lot of the pressure I was feeling to be posting online all the time, and also in the form of like TikTok, Instagram, and just being everywhere all at once. And actually allowed me to really lock in on my writing projects and really make that a priority in my life. But I chose to be on YouTube, and I've chosen to be creating content not because I feel like I need it to publish my books, although I do think sometimes it can be helpful when you do have a book come out and you already have kind of a platform to share it on, and just having people in your corner who support you and are going to cheer you on, like that is very valuable. But when I started this channel in 2022, I started it because I wanted to share my journey of writing my books and getting published. And when I say share, I mean, I really just wanted to document that for myself and treat this space like a digital journal of just my journey, my thoughts and experiences on learning how to navigate the world of publishing, on navigating writing a book, and just a space for me to like really reflect on, you know, this lifelong journey I'm going through, because writing is a lifelong commitment. It does not take a week to write a book. It sometimes takes 17 years. It's a long process, it's a long journey, and it's a long journey to do alone. That's another reason I started this channel, because I was doing this journey alone and I was craving community. I was craving to like get to know other writers. And when I started this channel, it really has been a space for me to talk about my writing projects, to share my journey, and to connect with other readers and writers and people going through a similar journey that I am. And honestly, I'm still looking for that. I'm still seeking that. And I think that's a very vulnerable thing to say, which is why I'm nervous saying it. This is something that I do desire, and it's actually something I think that is gonna help me be more intentional with just what platforms I choose to be on as a writer, and just in my personal life in general, and what kind of content I want to share and put out there, and just how I want to engage online as someone who wants to be a writer more than they want to be a content creator. And the place where I'm choosing to really begin with that is by prioritizing my writing over posting and sharing online. And I think that's something that has really guided me and helped me, especially this year. I think I might have already said that, but I think making the conscious decision to tell myself every day that writing is my priority. My goal is to be a published author. I do enjoy content creation, and that's something I'm definitely more interested in pursuing now than I was before. But I do think that still my priority is to my stories and the stories I believe that I've been called to tell, and writing those and actually having written work that I've been working so hard for to show for myself, for other people in my life, and just for other people who need stories. And I think that's the place where I'm really choosing to enter 2026 with when it comes to writing and content creation, is just to prioritize writing always. And I think that's something that has really helped me this year. But in the midst of my online presence being just very inconsistent, my writing was anything but that. Like, I have written more consistently than I ever have in my life. Really like stretched and challenged myself this year as a writer in ways like I never thought that I would be capable of doing. I have a lot of updates on what I've been working on and kind of where I'm at with certain projects that I've been sharing already online. So let's move on and talk about that. When it comes to my writing this year, I think the thing I am the most proud of isn't how much I was able to write. It isn't how much progress I did make on my projects, even though I have made quite a bit of progress. The thing I'm the most proud of and the most excited about is the fact that writing feels like it did when I first started. When I first started writing books in middle school, it really was an escape for me. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I think I also was using the stories I was telling to really process some of just like the really like traumatic and difficult things that I had like been through, and just some of, you know, the emotions of being in middle school. I really used reading as an escape for those reasons, but I also like very much use writing for that. And that's really where I found my love for writing, is as an escape and as a place, like a safe place for me to just think about things that were not what I was going through and somehow still be processing those emotions through characters, through themes in my stories. And so this past year, I really feel like I've come back to that place. Working full-time and just some of the things that, you know, I've been through with like moving countries and navigating, trying to like build a new community, trying to figure out, you know, do I want to be a full-time author? Do I want another career to support my writing? Like, how does that work? And just even getting used to working full-time. A lot of those things were very difficult for me. And writing was one of the things that I really found safety in and I really found comfort in. When I came home from work and I was stressed and overwhelmed, I would write. And it was always a good day when I could at least give my manuscript like 30 minutes of my time. And even though I was writing with the intention of, you know, publishing, even though I was writing seriously, like wanting to make this book good and everything, just the process and the act of just getting out of my head and de-stressing by just getting into this world and getting to the head of these characters just really helped me a lot through things in this year, in the last few years. But this year especially, I feel like when I went into 2025, I knew I wanted to make writing my priority. I think that really helped me decide how I was gonna spend my time. I said this already, but I'm gonna say it again. Like this year, I did make a lot of progress this year in my writing projects. As I've been working full time, as I've been living my life, all my progress is very slow. I know people who have written way more than I have, but for me, I look back on how much I've written this year, on what I was able to accomplish, and I don't understand. Like, I don't know how I managed to do that with everything else going on. So let's talk specifically about my writing projects. So since I began this channel, I have completed 2 rewrites of a young adult portal fantasy novel called The Winds of Destiny, which if you've been around for a while, you'll know like this is the project that I started this channel with. I published this book when I was 17. I self-published it. After, you know, going through college and an entire creative writing program, I strengthened my skills as a writer a lot. And what I had written for The Winds of Destiny, which is the first installment in a trilogy, did not match what I had written for book 2. I believed in the story and I just wanted it to be executed better. So I made the decision after I completed writing the sequel to that book that I wanted to go back and just completely rewrite the whole thing and to try and execute my ideas and the story just a lot better. And so this year I completed the second draft of that, and I sent it out to beta readers and they didn't hate it. What? They actually loved the book. I was so encouraged by their comments. I was so encouraged by the feedback that I got, even the constructive feedback. Like that really helped me in this new draft that I've begun of The Winds of Destiny to kind of get it to a place where it's gonna be ready for querying. I do not know when I'm gonna start querying this book. I'm not putting a timeline on it on here because I know myself. And I know that if I do put a timeline on here and I don't stick to it, I am gonna be crushed. Absolutely devastated. Like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that to myself. But I have a draft I'm in the works of polishing, getting ready for querying, sending out to literary agents, and I'm really proud of where the book's at. And so that's something that I was able to do this year throughout 2025. I was able to put just a lot more ideas ideas into like world building, character building, and just fleshing out more the plot of an epic fantasy project that I'm really excited to write. I came up with the idea back in 2017. I did talk about it in my last vlog, so if you want just like a little bit more of a teaser, I guess, because I really didn't share too much about it. But if you want to know more, you can watch my last vlog. And yeah, that story I'm so excited to write. I'm literally dying to write it. But every time I've tried to write it, it just never felt like the right time. Like I've tried to use that as my National Novel Writing Month project every year, and it's never worked out. I feel like it was the project. I do feel like it was this fantasy project. It just was too big. Like the scale of that project is so big. And it's also a series. So I was going from The Winds of Destiny, which is supposed to be a 3-book series, to this other one that's also a series and like epic high fantasy. When National Novel Writing Month came around this year, I knew I wanted to participate in the challenge. So this year I decided to write an entire new book. I had an idea for this book like back in 2022. It was kind of just like in the back of my mind. So in November, I wrote a draft. It's a 0 draft, so it's not like completely fleshed out, not completely perfect at all. It's really just a map out of the story. But I wrote a manuscript for a adult portal fantasy. Don't ask me why I keep writing portal fantasy. Actually, you know what? Ask me why, and I will make a video about it, because I genuinely believe it's because I was raised on the Chronicles of Narnia that I just have this obsession, and Harry Potter kind of, right? I just have this obsession with portal fantasy. Again, like I'm planning content for 2026, so like if you do want to know more about portal fantasy, me give you some like recommendations of portal fantasy books I like, why I write it, I got you. Just let me know. Just let me know if that's something you want to see. But yeah, I wrote this entire book called Project Casino. I've shared about it on my Instagram and on TikTok, so if you want to like check there to just like see what it's about a little bit more, you can go do that. But that book is like so different than anything I've ever written. Even though it's a portal fantasy, there's so much about it that is just, that completely stretched my creativity as a writer. And it's a book I never thought that I would ever be able to write. And it really showed me like what it looks like when you just let yourself believe that anything can be possible. And I really just was outside the box thinking when I was creating this story. And I think some of the best fantasy novels that I've read had started from that place of an author just being like, hey, what if I just like allowed this weird thing to be possible? And so I really did that with Project Casino. In 2025, I wrote 2 books. It's still weird to say. It's crazy to me to think that I was able to even just like make that kind of progress. I may not have published anything yet, like I wanted to. I thought I would have already republished The Winds of Destiny by now, but I have just made so much progress, not just in my actual physical writing, but just in my journey as a writer. I feel like I've really come to know my process a lot more. I've come to know myself a lot more. And yeah, there's just so much that I've learned in how to balance writing with the rest of my life. All of this is just small steps toward my greater goal of being a published author. And that's something that I'm really hoping to shine a light on more in 2026 with just the content I'm hoping to share with you guys is that it's that small progress is still progress, and there is a way to chase your dreams that is realistic and intentional, that's not gonna like throw away the rest of your life. There's a way to do this that's within the limitations that you have personally, with your personality, with like your life circumstances, the time you have. Like there is a way to still do something you love and chase your dream like within those parameters. And I think that's something that I'm really hoping is gonna like be something I talk about a lot more on like with what I'm sharing, just sharing like realistic days in my life as a writer, realistic writing routines, like things like that, where I just want to be a lot more transparent, a lot more authentic, and kind of shed light on just the practical everyday ways that you can weave writing and creativity into your life. So on the topic of creating content for 2026, let's get into the final section of this video. So 2026, let's talk about what you can expect from me and this channel in the new year, because we're coming back. Okay, we are coming back My intention is that I'm actually gonna be a lot more present on YouTube. I really wanna take this channel seriously. Again, I wanna vlog, I wanna do little chatty sit down videos just like this. I wanna share more about my writing projects, more about my process. I wanna share more about, like I said, like just how to balance writing with your life, tips on how to create a routine that works for you. I wanna share like more craft tips. I can't guarantee I'll do that a lot because I honestly feel like there's so much advice out there and I don't really need to reiterate or add to the mix too much. I can refer you to people that just do a better job at that than I will, but I do want to share a little bit more about the craft of writing, how to better your storytelling, your characters, things like that. But mostly, I want to know what you guys want. If you have content that you're interested in learning more about, just like my projects or things that intersect with my projects and my stories, like I would love to hear from you and just kind of know what you want to see on this channel in the new year. But yeah, I've made the decision to come back to YouTube. And there's a few reasons for that. One of the things is that I'm kind of sick of short form content. I really feel as though a lot of people, especially in the writing community and just book talk, booktube space, I feel like everyone is kind of over the instant gratification and fast-paced, quick results-oriented dynamic that is short form content. I think we're tired of it. Personally, I'm exhausted. Like here and there, it's nice, but like I would love to live a life where TikTok didn't exist. And I can choose that for myself. Again, I feel like as, for me personally, as someone who does want to, make a career out of my writing and also lean more into content creation this year, I probably will still be posting on TikTok, but I don't want that to be my focus. It's not something that I like to consume. I just kind of do it because quite honestly, like a lot of people, I feel like I'm addicted to it, which we need to get over that in 2026 because it is not helping me. It's not helping my writing. I'm still gonna be sharing stuff on there, but my focus this year is gonna be more on YouTube and on Instagram. Oh, and Substack. Let's not forget Substack. I can't promise I'll be posting a lot on there. I run my newsletter through Substack, so if you do want like more monthly updates, you can follow my Substack here. I don't really know yet what my Substack is gonna fully look like, but you can follow me on there. I'll be sharing things here and there. But really, I'm focusing more on platforms that align with my goals, which is to build community. It's to connect with people. And I feel like TikTok is really great for discoverability. It's really great for reaching wider audience, reaching new people, but it doesn't really allow a lot of space to just build that community and that connection with people in the way that I feel like YouTube and Instagram do. So in the new year, that's what I'm gonna be doing, focusing a lot more on long form content, including my books, but also just getting back to YouTube and getting back to this little corner of the internet, this cozy little corner on the internet. Prioritizing YouTube is definitely on the table. And right now I'm trying to ease into it and kind of like build a habit. So you can probably expect videos from me every 2 weeks for like the beginning of the year. I'm trying to enjoy life more. I'm trying to take care of myself more. I think 2026 is the year where like I actually follow through on prioritizing my health and my mental health and my spiritual health. I think like all of that just needs to be number one before even writing, before even connecting with you guys, because that's how I'm gonna show up the best for not just myself, but for the people in my life, and then also for you. So that's where I've been. This is kind of what is ahead for me. Again, if there's some kind of content you guys want to see from me, content you like to see on the internet, let me know in the comments because I'm really open to trying new things on here. I am really excited for what 2026 holds. Of course, I know that things don't always go the way that we plan, but also things can also go very much the way that we hope. So I'm entering 2026 with an open mind. I'm entering 2026 with just being more intentional and more balanced and thoughtful in my thinking and in my brain. Yeah, and I'm really happy you guys are here. If you made it to the end of this video, please leave a green heart in the comments. I am just so grateful to just be back and to be able to just have the mental, physical space to create like this. And I'm really grateful that you're here and you chose to click on this video. So that's all I have today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.